Greetings, I am Dominic Bytes. Welcome to a portfolio video spotlighting Voxelcraft. Voxelcraft was a custom Minecraft server that I designed and created at the behest of a client, Voxelotl VT. I began work on the server in March of 2024. This was a reward that Voxelotl had set for her members, that when she hit a certain number of followers, she would launch a Minecraft server. However, she didn't know how to do that. So I stepped in, having had experience with Minecraft servers before and creating my own, and I volunteered to do so. She agreed, so she became my client, and I created Voxelcraft for her purposes. Work began March 2024, as stated. The server itself went live in November 2024. The main reason for the delay being I unfortunately had a family emergency a couple months into the work, which did delay things. It would have been done sooner otherwise. Voxelcraft itself would remain online from November 2024 until June 30th, 2025. That is when Voxelotl has decided to decommission the server due to costs. Now, in total, though, the server lasted 7 months online. That's not bad. Now, there was the usual drop-off of people played very heavy in the first couple months, and then, well, it stopped. But that is normal, and not anybody's fault. That always happens. Now, for this portfolio video, I am not going to focus on every single mod in the mod pack. There's too many. All of the mods in the server are extensively documented in the Voxelcraft playlist on my YouTube channel. If you want a full list of the mods, see those. So what I'm going to do with this portfolio video is not a complete deep dive. Instead, I'm going to focus on the key mods and features I put into the Voxelcraft server that tie into the client's personality, desires, and wishes, as well as that reflected their community. One of my goals with the mod pack was not to have it just be generic mod pack. I wanted, when you logged into the server, I wanted you to think, hey, this server belongs to Voxelotl VT. This server reflects their personality, their interests, their community. I wanted it to have a flavor that reflected Vox. And, for all intents and purposes, I succeeded. Vox was very happy with the selection of mods, very happy with the features and designs placed into the server, so I succeeded on that, and I will take full credit for it. So this is where players spawn in. First thing they see are the rules. This is based on how other servers do it. They spawn in, you see the rules, that way you know what you're agreeing to. Obviously, a copy of the rules is also posted in other areas, but this is a good way just to make sure people see what they're doing. So, typical rules here, 18 plus only. You obey the community rules for the streamer. pngtuber, I came up with that one. That one's mine. Respect other mods, be streamer friendly, because this server was intended to be streamed from. We did limit, the NSFW, griefing, stealing, trolling rules, very standard. The end dragon fight, we made sure to tell people not to speedrun. I gave credit to testers. I did, before the server went online for everybody, I did open it to a limited number of testers, including some people who are not from Vox's community, such as Colby and Milano, and they helped. I also, of course, gave myself a little bit of credit here, because you should always sign your work. Remember that. I also, of course, advertised Vox appropriately, and I also had megastructures, a rule on megastructures to avoid lag, as well as advising people of one of the custom mod commands. So I said, walking in, see the rules. This is, I think, fairly standard for most servers. I will certainly do this for servers in the future. I rather like this idea, and the rules were written in conjunction with Vox. I wrote a draft. They gave me feedback. I rewrote them. It worked out. It was a pretty good process. So now a player would turn around, and they would see the throne room. So this is a custom room I built. So this is all my construction. Now, I could have decorated the walls a little more. I've stopped not to. But the main things were because Vox is trans, I therefore made sure to include a lot of trans and LGBT iconography because Vox's community is very heavily focused on LGBT, trans issues, trans rights, etc. So the throne room reflects those interests with both the glass and the flag and so on. Now, these also come from a mod. This is from the Be Proud mod, as a custom crafting mod specifically to introduce Pride elements, Pride themes. Pride, the trans wool, comes from Pride Land. So those are two mods I loaded specifically to the LGBT themes, and because they reflect Vox's community. Now, another in-joke feature here is Vox's throne is the toilet. And in-joke in the Vox community is, pooping. Vox makes a lot of poop jokes. So, and has, Vox's struggle on the toilet is well known. So, we made a toilet as the throne. Vox really, really liked this joke. So, these are just some ways that knowing the creator helps you build a better mod pack or a better server. And that is something I would offer to another client if they hired me, because I would get to know them, and I would create something like this that reflects the personality, reflects the talents, reflects the interests of the streamer. So, the toilet joke, the LGBT, etc. One other feature I added to the throne room that a lot of people missed was lore. I had actually developed lore for the world that people spawn into. The politics, the motivations, the history, and so on, all of which was cleared with Vox. Originally, the server was intended for roleplay, so we considered that important world building to set up roleplay down the road. Unfortunately, the roleplay aspect of the server never materialized. Vox never got around to creating the roleplay setting that they wanted. Oh well. The lore was here, just sadly nobody really paid attention to it. But for example, I had Piglin research notes. I flaxed Galoth. Now, Galeth may sound familiar. Those who know the Jenny mod know exactly who that is. So, I went over here to document the Piglins. My major thing here was to kind of revitalize the Piglin rep and basically not treat them as enemies. So, Piglins in this world are not evil. They are from another world, they have suspicions, they're xenophobic, but they're not evil. So this book here contains notes on the founding of Voxelandal, which is the name of the starter area. So this is from Queen Vox I, Declaration of War and Independence. This is Prince Vox's mom. So we have a declaration from Vox's quote-unquote mother in this universe. So these lore books were setups for a roleplay that sadly did not materialize, but they were key pieces to the Voxelcraft server. If I made a custom mod pack and server for another streamer, I would work with them to also write lore. Writing lore is fun, and I got to do that a little bit here. The Bytecraft server will probably also have some lore, because it's mine. To the side of the throne room, on both sides here and opposite, I have a little aquarium with an axolotl. Voxelotl is axolotl themed, therefore, axolotl in an aquarium. I think that makes perfect sense. Coming to the first floor of the castle, you can see that I used immersive paintings to put in art of Vox to highlight the fact that this is Vox's thing. So this is art from a variety of sources. For example, this chibi is by Chakun. Chakun also does my Bytes avatar and chibis for me as well. Chakun is one of my 3 primary artists. So, using art from Chakun made a lot of sense for me, as well as Vox. So, Sleepy. You also see I also slipped in a little bit of art of myself, because I can, a little bit. It's Chakun's art. You also have the 3D. Now these pieces here, this is Vox's, I believe they're shaker art, but you can see the variety of art I have pasted here, including some of the cursed art, such as the feet. Again, you see here the toilet joke. You see their live 2D model, that's based around. There's also their older avatar. Another chibi here from Shakun. And of course, the Korean theme one, because, well, that makes sense. As you can see above. So, using the art as kind of decor, as kind of a mural, this also recognizes the fact your typical player, after spawning in, is not going to really spend much time in the spawn structure. They're probably going to leave. So the art is here simply to reward anybody who sticks around. Ah, and there is one of my chibis by Chakun and the match from Vox. Interestingly, these two chibis are in fact a matched set. Chakun designed them as such. So that was nice. And in the center, of course, because axolotl theme, I placed an axolotl statue. The original had black eyes. I put the glowing frog lights in here from Cottagecraft to help illumination. Magnum torch prevents monster spawns in the castle, which is nice. Also, you note the use of the pink frog lights as well for illumination to maintain a constant light level. Further in the first floor here, unfortunately, this did not work. I was originally going to offer creative mode to anybody through button press. I couldn't get it working though, so sadly this does not operate. I will need to explore this further. Over here was a community chest idea I had. Unfortunately, it also glitched out, I think due to the claim chunks. Unfortunately, people could not open these apparently. So my idea for community chests for sharing sadly did not come to be. Thankfully, the waypoint here, so with the waystone, you are able to warp to various places around the server that I have put down. That way people can travel. Another feature of the first floor of the castle are these traders, 4 of them. Now, each of them serves an important purpose, which is to avoid soft locks. The resupplier gives you basically all your starting gear, which you can get for an egg. The beautician gives you everything you need to customize your character. So one of the options here, Minecraft Comes Alive, is one of the mods. So if you accidentally screw up choosing your gender or your look or some such, you can use the beautician to try again. I did want to keep that behind crafting. Documentation trader is all of the starter manuals relevant to the various mods. I didn't put those in the starter pack because, you know, clutter. And then Lord Bezos, of course, is a joke. Apparently some people, I don't know why, some people actually saved up the 64 block of emeralds to get some of these. Why, I don't know. I purposely made these insanely expensive so no one would, but people did. I don't know why. That's just one of those behaviors you can't anticipate when you make a mod pack. But there we go. So these 3 were to avoid soft lock, and they're in the castle. If I spent more time on them, I would have had them turning around and facing things, but it's okay. They are functional. Now, over here is another mod. This is the Nether Starbucks from Lava Java. So this is the Wither Barista. Now, coffee is another key theme to the mod pack. Why? Because Boss's girlfriend, Try Lynx, is a barista in real life. She works at a coffee shop somewhere in New York. So I decided to go with a coffee theme. So there is a Wither Barista here. Probably like a foxtail stuff. I don't know where I got that. Maybe somebody gave it to him. But you can trade gold for various coffees, cakes, etc. They're also non-hostile, so even though it's a wither, if I jump in here, won't attack. Yeah. And to help them stay there, I have the honey and you know, just a few decorations, things like that. So that is the castle piece. I only used the second and third floor of the castle. I did not use any of the upper floors in this construct. Ultimately, I think that's really all that was needed for a spawn structure. I tried not to put too much time into the spawn structure because your average player isn't going to spend much time here. Your average player is going to run right down these stairs and out the door, looking for adventure. Now, when we come outside the castle, one thing I tried to do was create a very good first view. Hence, you have these giant cherry trees here. These are not like proper cherry trees. These are actually builds that people made, so they use a lot of like wool, pink porcelain, things like that, but they're massive. So I put these here to create a nice overarch look, along with the frog lamps for illumination. And as a musical intro to start, I have a musical skeleton here, and he's piping away Dare to Be Stupid by Weird Al. This is another in-joke. Vox is well known for their dislike of Weird Al, so making Dare to Be Stupid the official theme song of the server was a way to highlight this, because Dare to Be Stupid is an awesome song. What fool dislikes Weird Al? I don't know. Vox is that fool. By their own admission, they're kind of strange for not liking Weird Al. So this is designed to be like an epic first look at the server, to make a good first impression of like, oh, that's pretty. You'll also note that the marker here for the castle is Prince Vox. So this is what the castle looks like from the outside. At the top, big old axolotl. Again, Vox's theme is axolotl, so I decided to put... This is from a separate structure from the castle, so I decided to put it here to reflect Vox's axolotl theme. You both know I did not create the castle from scratch. I got these from a download site. Allows you to use it as you like. Same with axolotl. I did not create this. This is a download schematic that I copy-pasted in. Being able to combine existing resources and customize them is a very handy skill for your designing server. Now, one Easter egg I put in here, and no one found it. That was weird. Like, it was such a good Easter egg that as far as I know, nobody in the server ever found it, was a giant custom nether portal. I really like the design of this. I didn't make this. This is somebody else. I copy-pasted this behind the castle, so if anyone wanted to, they could just pop into the nether right away and use that travel. No one's found this, as far as I know. So moving back down here to the back of the entrance. So from the entrance, we now have a small town that I created as a kind of an intro area. Now, the design for this was very deliberate. I made several choices here to try to set things up. So the first thing you can see is the aquarium. You have turtles. You had the oh, there they are. Okay, yes, so you still have some axolotls in here. Growing, breeding, having a good time. They're just doing less. Now, Greta Vox, this was her favorite part of the starter area, this space here. So I was really happy with how this turned out. I agree, this, honestly, design-wise, probably best for Krypton. This I did build. This I constructed from scratch. Now, as for the buildings themselves, so each house is sort of a duplicate. The exteriors are duplicates of each other. I did not build these houses. These are again from schematics I found online and appropriated. Now, each house, though, has a different interior. Namely, each one is customized around a different theme. So this is the alchemist house. You can see alchemist table. And of course, you have a small girl and a dog. Because what alchemist does not have a small girl and a dog? You have to combine them, right? That's just what an alchemist does. Each house has its own little kitchen. Now, the interior here is designed to highlight some of the additional modded materials. So the alchemist table is from Villagers Plus. The plushies are from the Perfect Plushies mod. The Better Nether has where the stools are from. The coasters are from Bruin and Chewin. You have Cluttered for some of the decorative bottles. You have bottle crates from Sandwichable. You have Farmer's Delight for the baskets. And of course the kitchen has things from all over the place. Supplementaries, you have Adorn, you have, again, more Farmer's Delight, Farmer's Respite, you have the cake ovens, you have the fridges from, there we go, Cluttered, the retro fridge, you have more of the items from Brewer and Chewin, as well as the Sandwichable, as well as more of the cake stuff. So people could come in here and they would see a wide variety of the options they have for decorations, and a sampling of what mods are out there they can use and craft and turn things into. Twigs here, and you have the custom shroom lamps as well. If they went further up, they would see here you have, again, more items such as the library books, the Adorn, you have the nice textures on the pink bed. This highlights some of the texture packs that are in play as well. X-Lines furniture here for the lamps. and the various chairs and desks. In the attic, you further still, you see not just your typical crafting table and stone cutters, you also have the enhanced workbench. You have the enhanced workbench here, the crafting station as well, so you can see those from the expansions. You have the saw from Universal Sawmill, also spotlighting that. You have the better archaeology. You have different chests again. So each location, each house, has little hidden nuggets of information so that a new player coming in, wondering what the mod pack has, who hasn't watched any of the guides, can come in here and be like, oh, this is available, and this is available, and this is available. Okay. So in this manner, I use the house and the towns not just as pure decoration, but as a tutorial. The tutorial for the mod pack is built into the starter village itself, which in my opinion is how a server should be set up. Essentially, the server is telling you what it has available and how to play it. Now, as you can see here, I did populate the village with NPCs who are currently sitting around and resting, and done a lot of stuff on their own, so that's fine. I do find that the Minecraft Comes Alive AI is a little weird when you spawn villagers in with the spawn eggs. The AI does get a little wonky, and they do some weird stuff, and they don't really behave. Even when you tell them, hey, your bed is upstairs, they still kind of move around. So here we have the oceanography table. Again, if you notice, same basic kitchen setup as elsewhere. And if I go upstairs here to the attic, slight difference. Here you can see the anvil type, so you will see some slight differences here. Bedroom is the same though. I think I kept the same bedroom for each house. Now, if you notice earlier with the starter traders there, to avoid the soft lock, what did you trade to get those starter materials? Eggs. Well, how do you get the eggs? You go to this giant chest that's full of eggs, and you grab some eggs and you trade them. Since chickens produce eggs infinitely, this gave a nice renewable resource that players could use to not get soft-locked and to always be able to get their starter equipment, and so on. Apart from the houses, another aspect of the tutorial nature of the starter village are the crops. So while I have carrots, wheat, potatoes, the vanilla crops, I also made sure to highlight not all, but many of the modded crops. So raspberries, radishes, basil, black beans, coffee, very important that, always gotta have your coffee, garlic, things like that. That way players, when they saw this farm, they would know that yes, the vanilla crops are still in place, but you can also get all of these. And you could take some from the starter village and experiment with the cooking features and so on. This also allowed, anyone can harvest these, anyone can get the cocoa beans, anyone can get the bamboo. These were also very important as our starting area did not have bamboo or coffee beans readily available, so this allowed people to make the cookies and bamboo constructs very quickly on, same with sugarcane. This is just, again, a quick way to give players what they needed really early on, so they didn't have to grind quite as much to get what they needed. Now, another tutorial area here is with this house. So, this house features a number of the portals. So, the Mining Dimensions is another mod in the pack, gives access. So, this house is intended to be like the home of the people who explore that. So, in their backyard, they're putting together the different Mining Dimension blocks that you can use to access. So, Mining Portal, the Climbing Portal, Hunting Portal, these are here to attract attention. So the player sees it, it's like, oh, there's other portal blocks out there. Oh, okay. Now, again, using the starter town to teach the players how to play the mod pack. One thing I will point out, though, is all of this is optional. All the content I just showed you is optional. There is, out of the castle, straight line from here, straight to the exit. So if a player wants to, they can completely ignore all of the tutorial material in the buildings. So the village is optional, it's skippable, but if you explore it, you are rewarded. But you don't have to. This is the way I avoided making essentially a mandatory tutorial and avoided annoying the players when they log in. I did not force the players to wind through this long maze of tutorial information that they may already be familiar with. They could just skip it and go straight through. Also here, the nice thing, you see the little axolotl statue. I'm pretty happy with this one. I modified the original by giving it the glowing eyes and the little glow on the trident as well. I thought that was pretty cute. Having it be a statue for the town was a nice touch. Fox really likes the statue. This is another one of Fox's favorite components. Here's a quick note, although I forgot to mention, about the villagers. So by default, when Bytecraft comes alive, the villagers only engage in heterosexual romance. That is, if you are playing a male, you can only marry the females. If you're playing a female, you can only approach the males for marriage and having babies. I turned that off because there is an option, you have to manually do it, but you can turn off that option and basically make every villager player sexual. So no matter who you are, you can romance them and have babies with them. So you can have two women getting married and having babies together in Minecraft Comes Alive. I deliberately set that. Again, Vox, very gay. Vox is very, very gay. Her community is very gay, and I mean that in a positive sense. So it's, having sapphic relationships that can produce children just made complete sense. And that is what I did in this pack. Okay, so now a player has gone through, they spawned in, they've gone through the starter town, they've seen all that is here. Now they want to leave, they want to have their own adventure, they want to get out of the starter area. So to do that, I constructed a path that they could follow, or I'll just fly through it. I made sure to keep it illuminated, that way players do not have to worry about monsters spawning nearby. That led to this intersection. So I gave players a three-way choice via tunnels. Now I'm going to pull up the map. So you will see one cave exits to the south, one cave exits to the west, and the other cave exits to the east. The goal here was to give players options, which direction they want to go, what biomes that they want to build in, that kind of thing. You will also see here on the map, certain areas are claimed. So like Jane's party, you have Michelle over here. Let's see. Okay. Now this area here, I claimed this. This was for later construction that never came to be. Let's see. Were there any others? Yeah, nobody really did a lot of claims near spawn. A lot of people used RTP to kind of go far away, which is understandable and recommended. There's one. So you have Sloop and Dubers went there. You have, Kofi claimed a spot over here. Box set up shop along this ridge, as well as over here. There you go. So this is only the areas I've explored. Other people will, of course, be different. Here we go. We have Cosmic Limbo, and False Light. So the next major feature, player comes here, they have three directions of going. Each direction has a tunnel. Now, I could have just made plain tunnels, but I opted not to. Each tunnel, in fact, has a theme for it. So the first tunnel, going east, has trans colors. This is the trans tunnel. Since it already has white in the mix, I just added the light blue and pink. So this is the trans tunnel with a nice long trans flag down there. Again, LGBT themes, very important. This is the pan flag, because Vox is pan, so Vox is both trans and pan. And this one actually has a feature down there that I will show in a sec. There we go. They have the non-binary flag, which I believe Vox also identifies with. Oh, this one's also bi. Trans, non-binary, pansexual. There we go. Each flags that represent boss's identity and reflects how important those are to the server identity as well. Ties into the broader server themes. Now, traveling down this one, there's a little secret. So here, I had a little side room. And going down, one sees that, oh, there's a massive cave structure down here. Whoa. Now the reason I built that there, to allow people easy access into this cave structure, is because if you go down these caves, under the mountains, deep under the mountains, you begin to notice something. Because all of the skulk, as you explore it, goes down, and you run into an ancient city. So there is an ancient city very close to spawn, which I thought was really cool. And what's special about this one is, one thing I did is, I found this early on, I cleaned off the skulk and I initiated the portal from Deeper and Darker, or the other mods. So theoretically, a person could go into the starter area, come out, and then immediately proceed to the Deeper and Darker bio, which is not, to put it mildly, not exactly beginner friendly, but hey, if someone wanted the challenge, they could do it. So that was an overview of the starter area, the castle, the town, the aquarium, the tunnels. Hopefully I made clear how the starter area all ties together. You have the castle as the spawn point, a throne room themed around Vox. You have a starter town that gives players a tutorial introduction to many of the mods in the mod pack, shows how they interact, while aesthetically tying into Vox's theme. You have the tunnels decorated with flags that again tie to Vox's identity and community, while also giving a nice little Easter egg in there that allows players to advance to an ancient city right off the bat, which I thought was a nice little thing to include. Now, next on the portfolio list here, I wanted to highlight several of the key mods. Not all the mods, but the key mods. The ones that I think reflect the personality of the mod pack the best. Now, I have already shown two of the Pride ones, which is Be Proud and Pride Land, so I won't highlight those here again. One mod I will show off that was not shown in the throne room is the Pride furnaces. So as you can see, very simple. These are just furnaces decorated in the colors of the Pride flags. So another Pride theme mod. Again, Boss very keen on LGBT, so I tried to include as many LGBT theme mods as I could. I wouldn't necessarily include these for every mod pack I do. It depends on how strongly tied into LGBT they are. Boss is very heavily tied in, so therefore they are included. Also, earlier I showed the Nether Starbucks, the Lava Java, that was tied to Chai Links and her profession as a barista. Also tying into that is Kawaii Dishes. Kawaii Dishes, also coffee themed, includes a coffee maker. In addition to that, it also has a range of very cute clothing, such as maid dresses, fox ears, cat ears, fans, etc., where you are dealing with a community that is heavy on cuteness and light, and being kawaii, this makes natural sense. So this was a natural tie-in, despite being redundant perhaps with Lava Java. The additional costumes made it worth it. Another key mod that I put into the mod pack was the starter kit. Every player who logs in gets a starting set of equipment. I chose the starting equipment to reflect the personality and community the box is in. So let me demonstrate that now. So here you can see me, I'm giving myself the default starter kit. Let's go over the items that are in the default starter kit. So I started everyone with stone tools. That way nobody has to go through the wood tools to crafting table kind of deal. I figured get people past that grind. I think that's fair without being OP. Then you have 4 custom items here. You have an Avi port, which is this purple guy, as named for Avi, who is one of the mods on Boss's channel, and a good friend of mine. You have Cup of Chai, so again, coffee themed or chai links. Girlfriend, significant other of Vox. You have a Vox of your own, a Matt's Lowell in a bucket. I thought this made obvious sense. Everyone basically has a pit box that they start with and can lay down. Unless you have light. So this is the Magnum Torch. I love the Magnum Torch. When I first played the medieval Minecraft in 1.18.2, my Magnum Torch was given to me as a starter gift by the other players. It saved me bacon, as it kept the monsters at bay during my early saves. So this was very handy. So this is why I gave this item name for myself. Other starter items I gave included the transfer, so I did start people off with the Pride themed furnace, as well as the Pride book, which is a guide to all the flags, again, LGBT themed. Everyone had starter food with the cookie, torches just for functionality. Then we also had what was called the Vox Shaker Cup, filled with milk. Yeah, no, really, it's milk. Again, bit of an in-joke, but people had. The crafting table and the blueprint were like the torch, purely functional items. The blueprint is from Minecraft Comes Alive. It allows you to see the village you're in and interact with it. I figured I didn't want to gatekeep that. And the crafting table, this is generally useful. The starter kit armor was leather, dyed leather, so it's pink. That way you are covered in pink armor. You can't see it right now because I've toggled off, but everyone started with pink leather armor. Again, Vox themed. Vox is a very pink heavy VTuber. That is part of their color aesthetic, so I tended to favor pinks. And lastly, as a starter item, instead of giving everyone a shield, which would be a little, I think, OP, so I gave them a blahage. Because why not? You know, blahage theme, popular with trans girls everywhere, therefore everyone starts with a blahage. The blahages were very popular, I will say. Everyone loved their blahage. As with the castle and the town, these starter items reflected the personality of the streamer, reflected the community of the streamer, naming them for specific, significant individuals, reflecting aspects of the streamer, reflecting the personality and interests of the streamer. These are the kinds of details that I would put into any mod pack that I was creating for somebody else. I would get to know them to an extent that I could do this kind of detail, these kinds of little references and in-jokes with them. Are there any mods that I regret adding to the mod pack? The answer is yes. There are a few. One of them, as you can see, the mountains are much, much taller than usual. This is due to a world gen mod called Tectonic. Now, Tectonic is great for single player. I love Tectonic. It makes worlds look so much cooler. Look how tall those mountains are. That is amazing. The world limit height, of course, was increased to accommodate for that. However, on a server, this is a nightmare. Tectonic puts a lot of stress on a Minecraft server. It caused me to have to pay a lot of money for a very high-end server, where without it, probably could have gotten away with less. So due to the load that Tectonic puts on a server, I can't recommend it for multiplayer servers, just single player only. I would say the Voxelcraft server would probably run better without Tectonic than with it, and I do regret its inclusion. I would not include Tectonic on future mod packs. As cool as it is, again, not knocking the mod, it's a cool mod, I would not put it into a multiplayer server. The other regret I have is that, unfortunately, due to some kind of conflict with the world gen, none of the custom biomes spawned. While I have the custom cherry trees at spawn, with all the biomes you've got, none of them appear naturally. None of the maple trees, none of the cherry tree variants, nothing. I only had vanilla biomes spawn in the world. There were some modded biomes that appeared. So, for example, the Sandwich Triples Hot Springs, for example, do spawn in the overworld. That was nice. However, none of the modded biomes spawned in it. And I don't know why, and it's unfortunate. And here we see wither skeletons in their natural habitat, Lava Java, the coffee place of the Nether. And here we see a wither barista, the natural form of the wither skeleton. We are used to them being very vicious and attacking. That's what happens after they stop being a barista, because they get sick of your orders. So remember, why are wither skeletons so hateful of all sentient life? Because they started out serving you coffee. So be nice to your barista, or they'll turn into a wither skeleton, like these guys do. Now, what are some areas of growth, or what do I have to learn for next time I do a custom mod pack? Two things come to mind. One was the custom recipes. I really did not explore the custom recipe settings with DAT files or data packs that I could have. I need to get more into custom data packs to customize the things on a server better. That's one area of growth that I have going forward. Another one was some of the setting tweaks. There are still some conflicts that popped up. There were still a few issues here or there, things that conflicted. I could resolve those better. So that's another area of improvement next time I do a custom mod pack. So I would say data packs are probably my next major area of growth for Minecraft mod packs. I pretty much just combined everything as is here, for better or worse. The other area of change I would do is with the starter kits. So I had originally conceived of like a trio of starter kits building on top of each other. As is, I would probably simplify that. Just have one starter kit for everybody, and that's it. So instead of 3 different ones, just have one. Because I really couldn't get starter kit to do a multi-tier system. Just having one works best. So that's what I will do in the future, is just have one starter kit for everybody. And if someone's like a VIP or a subscriber, and you want to give them something extra, probably just like give them that, like have an admin manually give them a gift or something like that. Or have a chest with like VIP gifts that you could just hand to them. There we go, they're pre-gen. So I probably would not try to use starter kit to differentiate that next time. That's one thing I learned. Now, other areas of growth, things I want to try in the future, like with my mod pack for my community, definitely these starter structures were great. I'll definitely be utilizing these more. I already have an idea of what my starter structure, my spawn structure for the Bytecraft server will be. And that's going to be a lot of fun. The themes and so on. The way I reflected the pink of Vox into the pink of the starter area, I think was very, very solid. You will see me reflecting these kinds of design aesthetics for my starter area. The use of the tutorial builds in the houses, definitely something I'm going to copy. Bytecraft will be more of a futuristic tech theme than this one is. This one was more a medieval level. Cottagecore, a lot of cottagecore mods in this. So Bytecraft will be more futuristic. So you're going to see more neons, brights, cyberpunk feel, a lot of use of the glass and glowing rods, things like that, rather than the natural frog lights. Now, don't get me wrong though, I do like some of the cottagecore aesthetics, and I may keep those for mine as well. Another area of growth will be with Minecraft Comes Alive, you can load a variety of outfits. So as you can see here, she's got this very nice cow print bikini. Now, unfortunately though, Vox did express some discomfort with some of the outfits for Minecraft Comes Alive. Nothing I loaded was not safe for work, but she did not like many of the racy ones. Vox preferred them all to be a little more conservatively dressed rather than racy. So I did end up having to remove some of the outfit choices from Minecraft Comes Alive in terms of spawning. Although those, I did find out that once you spawn them in with an outfit, you can't really get rid of it. They're just there. but you can prevent new ones from popping up, which is what we did. So that was, by the way, unexpected. So that is one area where I failed to anticipate Fox's wishes, where he did not want racy outfits, he only wanted more conservative outfits. I didn't see that coming. Fox tends to be very sex positive, so I did not foresee them not being sex positive when it came to NPC designs in the game. I think the lesson there is make sure you communicate with your client and make sure you ask about such things. That was a lesson learned there. Benefit of the Bytecraft server is since I am the client, I know my preferences. Cow-print bikinis, for sure. Just cow-print bikinis for days. And I should know, I'm not knocking Vox for their tastes. It's their taste, it's their preference, and that's what should be followed. There we go, I'm using that as just an example of where communication is key. So, speaking of communication, one area that I was very good about is I extensively documented the creation of the starter area of each of these houses, of the castle, the axolotls. So all of these processes were extensively documented live on stream, posted the VODs onto my YouTube, gave the links to Vox. Vox had every opportunity to review every single step of the process as I was doing it. So that is probably a recommended method. If you are making a custom mod pack for a client, do that. Record every step, either streaming or offline, but make sure you give the client extensive video about how you are making it, so that as they watch it, they can say, hey, this aspect, can you change that? Oh, this aspect, nah, not too big on that. Or, hey, have you thought of this? Or, hey, this step, I love that. Do more of that. Give them lots of material to review, so they can feel like they are part of the process to the extent they want. In Vox's case, Vox was actually pretty hands-off until the moment of launch, and that was fine. I didn't mind that, they didn't mind that, that was their style. Your client may prefer to have more of a hands-on, in which case giving them extensive documentation is a good idea. So what are going to be some of the key differences between Voxelcraft and Bytecraft? Some people might ask that, so I figured I would answer that as well. So for one, Bytecraft, unlike Voxelcraft, will be more NSFW friendly. I do intend to use Bytecraft both for Twitch and for Blue Twitch. There will be an NSFW area on Bytecraft. It will be firmly sectioned off from the main area. That way there's no one accidentally wandering into NSFW content when they are on Twitch. That would be bad. We will keep the two areas separate with clear warning signs. I do plan for Bytecraft to host roleplay. There may be both Twitch-friendly roleplay and Blue Twitch roleplay present, whereas Vox has a strong negative feeling towards NSFW content, and Minecraft, I do not share that. As you can tell by Dominic's outfit, I am not opposed to NSFW in Minecraft. Probably because, well, Vox encountered Minecraft as a child, therefore associates it with childhood. I encountered Minecraft as an adult, because Minecraft didn't exist until I was an adult. So, I don't associate it with childhood at all. To me, Minecraft is a modern video game. Minecraft will have more of a cyberpunk feel, although I am planning it to have 3 eras. It will have medieval, steampunk, and futuristic, all 3 coexisting, explained by time portals. Again, there's going to be lore, there's going to be roleplay. I tend to network with other streamers, to have people streaming from the server, working with them, doing collabs through the server, etc. And even if nobody else is on, I thoroughly intend to stream from the server myself, because it's my server, and I am going to stream from my server. That just makes sense. The server itself will renew probably, I think, in November 1st. I will likely renew it. My goal also is to cut down the resources needed to run the server. That way I can downgrade the costs, save a little bit of money on that. I will still spend money to have the Bytecraft server, but I will reduce its requirements. So in addition to NSFW and roleplay, I will also be streaming from it regularly. We'll have slightly different themes. I will be basing Bytecraft on some of the Voxelcraft items. A lot of the optimization mods, shaders, etc. from Voxelcraft are just universally good. I think a lot of mod packs that use Fabric for 1.20.1 should just have a lot of the mods that I have in there. They are just standard issue, essentially. Where it will be differentiated will be in some of the detailing. I will probably not have all of the crafting mods. For example, Lava Java will not be in Bytecraft. Kawaii maybe, but not Lava Java. That one can be scrapped. I don't have as strong a coffee theme as Vox does. The starter kit will also be revamped to reflect people close to me. So, for example, King would be reflected in there because he's a good friend. Diesel and Sage would be reflected in there as they are good friends, etc. So it would be drawn more from my friend group than Boss's friend group for the starter kit. I think that is normal. I don't know which other of the World Gen mods I'm going to scrap. I'll be sorting through that soon. I'll also, of course, be updating all of the mods that were in Voxelcraft. Voxelcraft, once it was posted, I did not update the mods, except for like one or two. I didn't really update the mods during the stretch because they all worked. I didn't want to update to a mod that broke everything, so I just kept them there, and that was it. Now, if you have any suggestions or requests for mods in Bytecraft, let me know. I can tell you that Create and Applied Energistics will be in Bytecraft. Create especially, I love Create. Another key difference between Bytecraft and Voxelcraft will be the presence of tech mods. Vox very specifically requested no complex tech mods whatsoever. As a result, there are none in Voxelcraft. Bytecraft, on the other hand, while it will not have, say, computer craft or anything involving Lua or any of that tier, because even I don't know that far, it will have Create, it will have Applied Energistics, it will have a few of the tech mods that I do genuinely enjoy. Sadly, because it's Fabric, I can't have, say, Numacraft or Mechanism. As much as I like those, Palm Storage will probably be added because I like that one. However, one thing I hate is combat, so you can expect the passive mobs mod to be added to Bytecraft, even though it was not present in Voxelcraft. They actually took a vote on that. People were like, no, we don't want the passive mobs. But we will have the passive mobs in Bytecraft, because I prefer that. I like it when the monsters don't hit back. Now, another quick note on the Voxelcraft server. The end was actually never played. No one, at the time of this recording, no one actually raided the end. The end dragon remains undefeated at the time of this recording. I think Vox has said that they are planning to do so at some point, but I don't know if or when that will happen. But June 30th is a hard cutoff, so we'll see if they get to it or not. It's up to them. I did mod the final encounter for the End Dragon. I will probably keep that mod for Bytecraft as well. Now, I should also say, if the End Dragon event does not occur on Vox's side before the server is over, I will probably go at it myself just to show it off before before I permanently turn it off. Come the end of June 30th, I do plan to remove everybody but me from access and narrow it down and then put the server into development mode, essentially. Alright, and that is it for the portfolio video of the Voxelcraft server. As I said, if you want a more in-depth look at how all of this was made and put together, and the many, many man-hours I invested into creating this server, go ahead and watch the Voxelcraft playlist that is on my YouTube. It has dozens of hours of VODs going over how this was made. You can especially see how I selected the world seed and how I tested each mod and combined them very extensively. But I hope you enjoyed this look at the portfolio, this overworld, a little explanation of my thought process. And if you wanted me to make you a custom mod pack for your server, this is, I think, a good overview of the process I would employ. I would get to know you. I would understand your in-jokes, your personality, things like that. I would then find mods that reflect that and add them as details, while at the same time using basically the same basic mod pack with many of the optimizations and other tools so everything runs well, with a few tweaks. As I said, I would remove Tectonic next time. You will not see Tectonic going forward in my mod packs because of the load. Other than that, you would see many of the similar mods going forward, along with additional ones that reflected your personality and your quirks and experience. So let me know in the comments below, what did you think of Voxelcraft? Do you think I designed this well? Do you think I did a good job? Do you have areas of critique or changes that you would have made if you were making this? Let me know. What feedback do you have? What could I have done differently in the process? I don't know. Let me know. If you're an expert on this, please tell me. As said, I fully acknowledge I don't know everything there is to know about making custom mod packs. This was not my first, but it was my second. And I will also say I learned a lot doing this. This was very much one reason I did it for free, was I learned a lot doing this, and I did it specifically for the experience of doing it. And it was a good experience. Any feedback is welcome on this. Tell me what you thought about the pack itself. As I said, at the time of this recording, the server will be closing June 30th. That will be the end of Voxelcraft. And it will be replaced with Bytecraft, which will be my next custom server. That will be launching July 23rd. Look forward to it. Also, make sure to check out my 2-year affiliate anniversary, August 7th and 8th. Looking forward to seeing you there. To everyone who played the Voxelcraft server, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody who invested time into exploring the world I put together, exploring the mod pack that I put together for them. It really made me feel really great to have people enjoying what I made. The sense of satisfaction from that, really hard to state in words. But I really, truly appreciate everybody who enjoyed the Voxelcraft mod pack. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much for all the positive feedback and constructive criticism that I was given. I was given quite a lot. I always took it to heart. So, Voxelcraft was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. Totally would do it again. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Bytecraft though, and I'm going to make sure Bytecraft is even better. At least I'm going to try. We'll see. Bytecraft might go through some iterations. I don't know, but I'll launch it. You will see what happens. Look forward to that. Live from Voxelcraft, 12 days before its permanent shutdown. This is Dominic Bytes signing out. When next we meet in Bytecraft, may your robot body be fully charged.
Bytes, you productive little devil. It's almost as if you're trying to impress me with your endurance.
Hey guys, welcome to the stream, Dominic Bytes. Hopefully everything works out for you, buddy.
Hey Dominic, how are you?
Hi Dom, welcome.
Hey Dom, how's it going?
Hi Dominic.
Hi Dominic. Hi Dominic. Sorry guys, Dominic is you know, a friend of ours.
Hey Dominic Bytes, welcome. Welcome on by.
Hi there Dominic, how's it going?
Hello Dominic, hello, how you doing?
Hi there Dominic.
Hello Dom, how's it going? Welcome. Howdy.
Hey Dom, so good to see you, hi.
Hi there, hi Dominic, hi.
How's it going Dominic? Welcome in. Mwah.
How are you doing, Dominic? How's your day been, bro?
Yo, Dominic, how's your day going? Glad you can make it.
Hi Dominic, how are you? Lovely to see you.
Dom! Hang on there! What are you implying? Whoa, what are you implying?
Oh damn, look at that. Dominic, off the hook, chain, handle, and wagon.
Dominic Bytes. Oh, it's you.
Oh dear Dominic Bytes, let's just say there are certain positions we could explore together that would make even the most advanced AI blush.